Mate, got so many pairs of underwear now. So stoked. Just like constantly chockers full of undies and socks. It's amazing because I just always hate doing my washing. So I'm always behind and they just always run out. Now I've got bulk black t-shirts, bulk underwear, bulk socks, mate. And it's just a game changer. So easy now. Welcome back to another episode of the Ben and Bergs podcast. I'm Ben, your favorite high school dropout and founder of Collective Shift. Alongside me is Bergs, your favorite MBA and COO of Collective Shift. Join us as we bring you world-class crypto research and strategies to help you dominate this crypto bull market, as well as a behind-the-scenes view of us scaling a fully remote subscription research business here in Australia. And if you like the podcast, we'd love for you to share it around, give it to a friend, give it to a buddy, give it to a pal. That's how we grow the podcast with no advertising, no affiliate links, no bullshit, every single week to you. And today, we wanted to go a little bit deeper into our personal lives and the things we're doing to increase, I guess, our overall enjoyment, our fulfillment, our happiness. And that might sound a little bit cheesy, but ultimately, you know, I think crypto is a great vehicle to help you achieve the things that you want to achieve in life. And I think for so many people, you're so fixated on trying to get out near the top and getting 100x meme coin and doing all these sorts of things. But in reality, you know, money can solve your money problems, but what are the things that can actually increase your overall enjoyment of life? And I'm a part of Aaron and I are both part of a group called the Entrepreneurs Organization. And one of the guys in there that's a good friend of mine, he's a killer entrepreneur, property investor. And he talks about how he is aiming on a day-to-day, on average, to get to an 8 out of 10 per day. That's his goal. He wants to get to an 8 out of 10. And I really love that idea because it was less so about a goal or like a target of like X amount of income or Y amount of, you know, investable assets or buy this house or do that. And yes, I have those sort of goals, but this idea of how do you feel on a day, if you had to journal every morning and you had to write down out of 10, and I'd recommend doing this. I did this for a little while. For the next week or two, get up, and at the end of the day or at some point out of the day, just write down out of 10, how do you feel? 10 being absolutely amazing, 0 being like sad and depressed. And where do you land? You know, and it's going to sway and it differs from day to day. It's never going to be the same, and, you know, there might be shit going on in your life. But overall, you know, for me, I've been in periods where I've been a 4 out of 10, 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10. But I really tried to get to sort of this 8 out of 10. What are the things that I can do to get myself to an 8 out of 10 a day? And I've been thinking about this more and more, and Bergs and I today are going to talk about our short-term happiness list to help us get our overall daily happiness and enjoyment up to levels that we want to get to.
I love this, mate. And first of all, you're a soft 4. And then I think for me to get to an 8 out of 10, I just have to not show up to work and deal with your bullshit, mate. And bang, 8 out of 10, let's go.
Just quit job and you're straight up, mate. It's like a short position on happiness working with me.
Oh, that's it, mate. That's it. No, but seriously though, you've gone out and written a list. I've now written a list as well. You posted yours and you've ticked off the majority of this. And really what you're doing is saying, hey, okay, I've got some resources generally being money or time. How can I use those to then impact my day-to-day and have a higher quality of living and be that 8 out of 10? So Ben, what is on your list, mate? What have you implemented and how has it changed your life?
Yeah, so these things, it was personal to me, things that I'd had in my mind for a little while that I wanted to achieve. And recently I was able to tick them all off. And honestly, it feels pretty nice because it's not just sort of like a luxury good or item that, you know, I did look at, and we were, you know, you and I were looking at, getting it. Well, I wanted to, you've already got a Rolex, Bergs, but I was looking at getting one myself, and I hummed and ahed for a little while and I realized that yes, it's a good milestone buy, but it's not going to increase my overall happiness, you know, exactly. And this is something I've learned recently. Like we've hit some good revenue milestones and some profitable milestones. And, you know, I've always been driven by getting to a certain milestone in terms of money. And we recently got there and I realized that nothing changed. Like, if anything, it was like, if anything, I was kind of sad that I hit the targets because now I'm like, fucking now what? You know?
Yeah. Now you have to reassess. And you're right with like buying a thing like a Rolex. Like you can buy it and you can wear it and it's good and it's a status symbol, but it may not make you happy. So mine does make me happy because I didn't buy it. My wife bought it for me on our wedding day. And it reminds me of that. And I'm amazed that she actually got it right because I'm the pickiest person on the planet. And we'd never talked about watches or anything like that before. And I just love the way that it looks. And it reminds me of that, right? And it brings me happiness. So yeah, you really have to be careful about, and you and I spoke about like, okay, you can buy the Rolex, it's going to cost you a lot of money and it'll take you away from the big goal that you have of getting that house for your parents. It'll add extra time onto that. And is that worth the trade for you?
Yeah, spot on. So this was the list, and this is what I've ticked off. I'll start with the lower stuff that was actually made my life infinitely easier. I bought, I think, 5 new black t-shirts. Went down to AS Color and bought 5 new black t-shirts. Game changer, because I was constantly running out of this is small, but I'm working all the time. I hate doing that stuff. Like, it was just constantly hard. I just never had black t-shirts to wear. And I bought a bunch of new what are the underwear we work? But Step One,
yeah,
mate. Got so many pairs of underwear now. I'm so stoked. Just like constantly chockers full of undies and socks. It's amazing because I just always hate doing my washing, so I'm always behind, and they just always run out of shit. Now I've got bulk black t-shirts, bulk underwear, bulk socks, mate, and it's just a game changer. So easy now.
Doesn't it just get rid of that mental load and that, oh, I've got an appointment or meeting in 5 minutes. I have to get ready. This isn't watches. I remember you called me. You're in an absolute state. Or it might have been a VM in our advisory channel.
This was in the middle of March, the most crazy time I've ever experienced in our business. I VM'd you guys, and I was like, guys, this is fucked.
You're like, I don't know what's going on. I haven't been eating properly. I can't get to the shops. I don't understand how washing works. Where are my clothes? Like, this is bullshit. Like, nothing's going on. I need someone to come to my house and wash my fucking clothes. Like, I just need someone to sort my life out. Because you were just working so much. And we're like, okay, bro, here we go. Get your PA, do this service for this month because you're working so much. You don't have time to do those things. And then I said to you, I'm like, bro, just go out and buy like 10 black t-shirts, 10 pairs of underwear, 10 pairs of socks. You'll be fine. So you have to wash once every couple of weeks.
Yeah. And
you got that time. You bought it. You're just like, oh, mate, I finally made it.
No, dude, it was literally like, this is what luxury looks like. It looks like I'm here.
Oh, exactly. It's the simple things, man.
And then I got a chef. So this was a guy that comes in once a week, and he cooks my meals for the week. Because the biggest problem, I'm single, and I live with another business entrepreneur buddy of mine who's Forbes 30 under 30, 80 staff. Like, he's just flying around everywhere. Like, we're both just hectic, sort of schedules. And we're just eating shit. Every day I was eating Uber Eats, eating crap, amount of sodium and crap. I felt like shit all the time. And it was just ridiculous. Like, I had more bags of rubbish of Uber Eats in the filling up the wheelie bin than I had normal rubbish. It was just ridiculous. So now I've got a guy that comes in once a week and he cooks just stuff that I want. Just epic, mate. I'm eating palmies, steak, burritos, enchiladas, like just wicked stuff. And he makes me like steamed veggies, wedges, potatoes, and I can just like put in the oven. And lunch and dinner now is sorted. I'm eating healthy, feel good. And I can just go down in 10 minutes, mate. I can just have a steak, chips, and veggies. And I'm like, oh, this is amazing.
How good is Gomez, mate?
Gomez is just like, mate, come on.
What a lad.
He's a godsend.
And this is a very interesting thing because people think that private chefs are for rich people, right? And they're actually not that expensive. The amount of time you get back and the quality food you get to eat. And they can do all the shopping for you as well, pick it up. They get better prices, better produce.
And this is the thing.
Saves you so much time.
But, some of you probably think, Ben, you're an absolute wanker. Why don't you just make food yourself? Well, it's like, well, first of all, I don't like cooking. Second of all, the amount of time I could make in money, the amount of money I could make in that time that I go shopping, I cook, I clean every day versus sitting and doing content, sales calls, meetings with my team, hiring people, growing the strategy, growing the business is infinitely higher ROI than going and trying to cook a meal that I don't like doing anyway.
We've got all these weird hangover thoughts about how we should live our lives, but our lives have changed so much just from our parents, right? And I get a similar thing and what we're talking about here is opportunity cost. I get a similar thing from my mum. She's like, why don't you clean your own house? I'm like, well, first of all, I'm allergic to dust and I fucking hate it. To get a team of people in to clean my house is $120. They do the bathrooms, the floors, everything. Right? I piss off and have lunch for an hour and a half, and I come back and my house is absolutely clean. The amount of hours it would that's 3 people in like an hour and a bit. It would take me over 4 hours to do it. I value my time at way higher than $100. It just does not make sense. That is something that I want to outsource. It makes me happy. I come back and I just feel super rich.
You put on a good point here. This is something that what's his name? The hourly rate, Naval Ravikant. Yeah, Naval Ravikant talks about is putting an hourly rate on your time. And if you figure out how much your hourly rate is worth, so I haven't exactly figured it out, but like based on the time I spend with our platinum members in one-on-ones and like content and sales calls, like it would be, without sounding like a douche, like would be in the thousands of dollars potentially. Or multiple thousands, right? So anything less than that in terms of tasks that I could outsource or delegate is a good investment because I could then use that time to earn more. Now, there's obviously some things that like life comes in, like I want to play golf or I want to hang out with friends. Like that's different, right? You want to live life. But in terms of direct work output, anything that's less than your hourly rate, if you can delegate, you're in the green because you're going to make more than that time spent doing that other thing.
Exactly right. And look, there's things that I could outsource to other people, but I don't. I hate mowing my front lawn, so I outsource it. Some guy I charge $25 a week to do my front lawn and all the edges. But my back lawn is small. And I just use like one of those hand mowers and I just do like the edging and I keep it nice and I do all the trees and everything. That brings me a lot of joy. It gets me moving. Yep. So I do that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And this is the other thing, like even a chef, I enjoy cooking a lot when I have time. If I don't have time and it's 5 minutes to dinner and I have to cook, it pisses me off.
Yeah, it's shit.
Yeah.
So got the chef, got the undies and socks, got the bike t-shirts. And the other thing was I got an Apple Watch, so I'm trying to get into running, and I had to strap my phone with this armband that would like fall off and it'd be heavy on one arm, and I'm trying to listen to music and track my running. Just so annoying. So I've got an Apple Watch that now tracks my running, and I can just run with a watch and listen to music off there. Elite. That's awesome. Game changer. Next thing was I got a new car. So I got a Tesla. Amazing. Didn't have a car for 2 years. The other day, it was so much running around. I had to go into the city to do a radio interview. I had to go back. I had a meeting in Richmond to hire someone. I then had to go to another office to do a presentation with my EO forum. I then had to run home and then had to do strategy calls. Then I had another meeting somewhere else. And like in the past, I would be getting Ubers everywhere, right? Horrific, horrible. I hate it.
Ubers are the worst because especially in Melbourne, like they just cancel, they'll go the wrong way, they'll go down one-way streets, and you have to be somewhere and you're relying on someone to take you there. Not only like the added cost and everything there, but it's crazy. Like they're just not reliable when you need reliable transport at a certain time.
It's expensive. And guess what? I got my videographer to come with me in the passenger seat. So the time we traveled around the city and doing the radio interview, I got probably 7 or 8 reels, behind the scenes content, YouTube content, Instagram content. So now I doubled my ROI by using that driving time I would have been sitting in the back of a seat doing whatever to now creating content on the road, cheaper and far more effective by now having a car.
Yeah, that's right. And the reason you didn't have a car is because you were Airbnb-ing everywhere, right? So you couldn't have a car, you were traveling, all that kind of thing. Yeah. Now you got a place that you're staying at regularly. Makes perfect sense.
Amazing.
And how is the Tesla, mate?
Oh, it's just so sick, man. I love it. It's like a rocket ship. It's scarily fast, so I need to keep an eye on the speedo. But it's so much fun. And also for business owners in Australia, like it's a great tax incentive. Basically, you don't have to pay fringe benefits tax if you own an EV car that's less than the luxury car tax threshold. So you can write off personal use. Unlike normal cars under a business, you have to track your personal use and pay fringe benefits tax, which is like basically just buying a normal car with post-tax dollars. So you can use pre-tax dollars, write off the interest, write off the depreciation over time, and it's like $20 to charge it up.
Mate, I can't believe all that tax stuff you just said was correct. Love it, mate. Love it.
Learn from the best. Mate. Learn from the best. So I got the car. And the last couple of things was I bought a new Sleeping Duck Queen mattress. So I had a double mattress, which just wasn't big enough. It was too small. So I got a brand new Sleeping Duck Queen mattress. Bought a new bed frame, which is epic. And my most favorite thing so far is I bought an 8 sleep cooler. And this 8 sleep cooler has been on my list for a long time. All of my entrepreneur buddies.
All of your ice bath buddies.
All my ice bath buddies. All my personal growth junkie mates have it. Harry's got one. Basically, it's this thing that on average gets you an extra hour's worth of sleep by automatically heating and cooling the bed to keep your core body temperature at the perfect temperature to get the best sleep that you can. And on average, the science behind it is that, you get an extra hour of sleep per day. So over the course of a year, you're getting an extra 15 days of extra sleep per year. And it has this thing called autopilot. So it tracks your body to get, because I sleep pretty warm, and throughout the night, your body temperature increases and decreases. So it keeps it at the exact temperature to get the most deep and REM sleep possible. And God, I'm nerding out on this, but it is epic. I love it. First, so it uses this water thing, so it cools the bed. It's got water throughout it. It connects to your mobile phone. So you set it to the time you go to bed, so it pre-cools your bed by the time you get in. Then it warms up in the morning to wake you up naturally. Oh my God, man, I'm in love.
Bro, all right, I'm going to check in with you on this. This extra 15 days of sleep per year, that's 15 days you could be doing sales calls, Ben.
That's true. I didn't get a bit better now.
The anti-optimizer. No, but you were saying today how much better you feel, just how refreshed you are having slept in that bed.
Yeah, so with my Whoop, I got a 71% recovery score, which is very good for me. Yeah, had 2 hours and 20 minutes of REM, hour and 30 of deep sleep. I was in, 29% of the time in bed was in REM, which is up big for me. So yeah, that's so good.
And this is it. When you're buying these things and thinking about opportunity cost, some of these things may be expensive, but if you think about how many hours you're in it, price per use, price per hour, they're incredibly cheap. If you're in that thing for 8 hours a day, even though it might cost you $5,000, it pays for itself. You ask people, how much would you pay for a good sleep? They pay a lot of money.
It's funny, right? People say that, but I don't know a lot of people that actually invest in it. It's we sleep 1/4 or 1/3 of our lives in bed. But the idea of spending a lot of money on a mattress, and even when I was doing it, I was like, hey, this is pretty fucking expensive. But when you think about it, over the next 5 years, how much time am I going to... I spend more time in this chair and that bed than anywhere else on this planet, and I'm not willing to spend money to improve it. What the hell?
Isn't it weird? Right.
Okay.
All right, which brings us to your future purchase.
Future purchase is a new computer chair, and I forget the name that I want to get.
It was a Herman Miller, whatever it was. Yeah,
that's the next one, because this gaming chair is the bane of my existence. That'll be the last thing. Once I tick that off, Bergs, I believe I'll be on average an 8 out of 10 a day.
Mate, it's built for speed. Love it. All right.
Now, what do you got?
I love that, man. I love that. And what are you now out of 10? Are you recording it?
Yeah, I think I'm about a 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10. I'm and also there's a lot of other factors and variables, but yeah, overall I'm pretty happy right now. I'm stoked. I'm grateful. We're in a good spot. I've got a place. I've got a desk. I'm surrounded by good people. I'm having fun. Crypto's fun. Business is good. Only downside is I have to keep working with you, but outside of that, I'm pretty good.
I was waiting for when is this going to come in, mate? It's the people around me are good, and I'm like, oh, here it is. It's going to come, mate. Jesus, my life would be so good if I didn't work with you. All right. Thanks, mate. Thanks. All right, bro. So here is a list of things that I have done and then things that I will do to get me to an 8 out of 10. Some of these are really weird, but they bothered the shit out of me. One was literally cleaning out all my old clothes in a drawer. That was eating away at my brain. I don't understand why. I went through it, threw out so much shit. Now I own 4 t-shirts, a bunch of undies and some socks, and I'm just going to buy some more of the stuff that I like, and I'm done. And I don't have to think about it. I know I've got enough. I'm just going to live my life. It's going to be amazing.
Amazing.
So that was huge, throwing that out and then donating the clothes. Half that shit I didn't even wear, mate. It's just clogging up the drawers. You can't close a drawer properly because it's stuffed with shit that you never wear. It's crazy. Or you wash your clothes, you fold them, you try and put them in there, can't do them. All right. Another thing to get me to 8 out of 10, I bought a hammock. And mate, this is just another space, because I work from home every day, that I can go to. I can lie down in a hammock outside. The sun's shining. I can read a book. I can relax. It is just an amazing mood and mind frame shift. I just love it.
It's so funny you say that, because like if you can only actually get in that thing in if you live in Perth. Like for 6 months, you're not getting in a hammock in Melbourne, mate. It is freezing here today. It's 30 degrees over where you are. Like fucking hell.
Yeah, so Ben's all rugged up. It was like 8 o'clock in the morning when we started. It's 15 degrees in Perth. It's going to hit 31. Blue skies, amazing. And you're just like, I want to die. It's too cold.
Roll over. I'm like, Alexa, what's the weather? She's like 9 degrees. I'm like, oh my God.
You're like, Alexa, what's the weather? Just starts laughing at you. Just like, awesome. Another thing I bought, a vertical mouse. So I've just held that up to the camera there. Yeah. So this is amazing. So instead of a normal mouse where you hold your hand kind of flat, your wrist is on the side like that.
Yeah.
And honestly, I get a lot of shoulder pain just from using my mouse on the computer and previous injuries. And it's pretty much eliminated all of my pain. This thing costs $100 and my pain is now gone. It is unbelievable. That is a game changer for me, because having like chronic roasting pain in your shoulder brings me, even if I was a 10, it brings me to like a 4. Just like having that pain and making me tired.
I've never even heard of these things, but I bought one when you said it's on its way. I'm keen to check it out.
Oh, and the guy because I was supposed to go on, the guy that reminded me was the Crypto Tax Sucks guy on Twitter. He's like, I got this, changed my life, because he has a lot of wrist pain, like carpal tunnel and everything. So he sorted himself out. The other things I've done, booked in 2 dinners or lunches per week. So I've been doing that regularly, and that has just changed my life. Like getting out of my house, going to the city, meeting with people, having a chat with them, sharing a meal, having a beer. My quality of life just goes through the roof. It is.
Connection.
Yeah, if I don't do that, I'm like, the max I'll get to is like a 7 out of 10 if the rest of my life was perfect. Just having that connection, breaking away from work, talking about normal human stuff.
It's such a big one, man, because I remember in March, like things were so chaotic and so crazy. Like it was kind of lonely and sad when I was going through that period, because I wasn't doing anything else but working like 12 hours a day. It was relentless, and I wasn't leaving my bedroom. I wasn't talking to anyone, and that connection, I think, is actually super important, that I brought back in, that I feel a lot better about. It's actually probably something that's underrated. It's an interesting point you make. I think that's really, that connection piece is important.
No matter what happens in my life, if I have like 2 dinners a week with friends, amazing.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, it's so good. I recently bought some very fancy Japanese shaving gear. So it's like this very fancy, like kind of like cutthroat to like line up. Anyway, so it's one of those things where it's like, I always hate like lining up and shaving and doing everything. Now I absolutely love it. So that's removed a pain point from my life, which I really like. I bought quite a few interesting books while I was on holiday, and I spent like a shitload of money on wine. So they're 2 things I really enjoy. I like drinking wine and just reading books. So now I dedicate part of my day, usually in the middle of the day, to have a bit of lunch and do some reading. So I'll go have a bit of lunch quickly, go lie in the hammock and just read a book. And it'll be something like Osho on forgiveness, or it'll be, at the moment, The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari and Radical Acceptance by Tara Brach. Just reading about, philosophy, Buddhist kind of training, looking at life in a different way. And it just gets me out of this mad crypto, let's go life, always work, to, hey, I can think about things this way, and it de-stresses me a little bit. And that just gives me that little boost during the day.
Yeah. Nice, man.
Yeah. The other 2 things I've been doing is I'm getting regular massages now. Again, game changing, because my body doesn't get tight and annoying to the point where I'm just crabby all the time, because I'm getting regular massages and sorting out the issues that I have. Issues in my body, not in my mind. And really, when your body feels good and it feels loose and it's not in pain, you just perform so much better. You don't have this cloud hanging over you. It's just amazing.
I also find out about you, I do my best thinking sometimes, getting a massage. Like it's like an hour of meditation. You start to think about different things and plan things. And
yeah, because you're not really thinking about work. There's nothing else to do. And like your brain's occupied with whatever's being worked on at that period in time, that those thoughts that have been ideating can come to the surface. Yeah. And then the other things I'm doing are the basic stuff around meditation, reading and walking. Like those things just make me really happy, just walking in nature, looking at the gum trees, seeing what's going on in the neighborhood.
I like that.
Now, the future things I want to do, So one is get my car stereo done. So Ben, I've got 2 quotes. How much do you think it would be to get a car stereo? We're talking deck, splits, rears, amp, and I've already got the subs. How much do you think that would be for a car?
Couple of grand, maybe.
$5,500, mate. So I've got 2 quotes. I know, right? I got to decide what I'm going to go with. Like the labor alone's like $1,000 these days, and yeah, it is so crazy. So I've wanted this done for ages, and I love audio. I love high quality audio. I've always had a system in my car, and I'm just going to get this done. So that'll bring a lot of joy to my life because my stereo sucks. I do a decent amount of driving, and it's something I wanted for a while, and it just every time I get a stereo, I'm always like, damn, I should have done this earlier because it sounds so good. It just makes me happy.
Yeah.
My car already scares everyone, and now it's going to be extra loud. So let's go.
Filthy commie.
Yeah, that's it, mate. Next thing is get another pinball machine. So I almost bought one, but it wasn't of a high enough quality. Like, there's a few things wrong with it. So I'm going to get another one of those. Pinball just brings me a lot of joy. It's silly, it's fun, and it's like pure joy and mindfulness for me because when I'm playing pinball, that's all I can do. It's all I'm focused on. Nothing else in the world matters, and it just makes me laugh. I love the kinetic satisfaction. I love the irreverence, the call outs, everything in there. Going to get a chair as well, just like Ben. So we'll see who gets the fancier chair, mate. And I'm finally going to sign up Geordie for a PT, mate. That's happening.
Get it done, mate.
Yeah, so it's getting done. And the other 2 things I'm going to try, 2 things that take me from, let's say, an 8 to a 10 would be I'm going to try having a chef as well and doing some meal prep. So that's going to be awesome. And then also just having time and not feeling overbooked. That's a big one for me. Like if I look at my calendar and there's just back-to-back shit, I'm like, I'm already stressed. I'm just like, fuck it. I don't want to do this. Like having breaks in between or batching things or just having time to think is what I really value. I don't want to feel, it's a quote where the overscheduled life is not worth living. So I'm very cognizant of that and trying not to cram everything into my life, but just have time to relax, and not feel overwhelmed and like I've got too much on.
Like I feel that constantly.
Yeah, it's a big one, isn't it? Where we think we need all these things to shove into our lives, but really we probably just need to sleep and relax a bit more and exercise.
Yeah, a bit more thinking time. Okay, well, nice work, mate. I like that. Good stuff. Where are you at the moment out of 10 on average on a day-to-day?
Oh, mate, this week like a 2 because I've been feeling crooked. I've just got epic fatigue. If I didn't have that, I'd be like probably an 8, mate.
Yeah, awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, we'd love to hear from you, followers and listeners. Send us in a tweet at BenSimpsonAU on Twitter or at BabybackBerg on Twitter. We've also got the Ben and Bergs Twitter. We'd love to hear from you. I think you can, if you're on Spotify, you can also send in a question or something on there. I'm pretty sure, Bergs, is that right?
Yeah, we can see him. We'll reply.
So send it across. But thank you so much for listening. If you like this episode, we'd love for you to share it with a friend. It's how we grow the podcast and keep coming back to you each and every week. Thank you so much, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks, champions.